Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I know some of you have been here before and haven't heard it for the first time. Those of you, I'm glad that you're coming back. That means you're learning, you want to learn. This program is broken down into 3 parts. What UCO does, what WPRF does, that's why Eva is here, and what your responsibility is as a unit owner, as an officer in your association. If you have a question that's pertinent to what we're talking about, ask it. If not, save it towards the end. The section that pertains to the associations has gotten longer, and it requires a little more time. So I try to rush through my part because some of you have heard it already. But UCO's mission statement is to oversee major contracts. Those contracts are security, transportation, roads, cables, and insurance. And why do we do that? Because in 1999, a bilateral agreement was signed by the associations, giving UCO the authority to do that. What do we do at the UCO office? We do investigation, we do barcodes, we do gate passes, we notarize paperwork for the building, and we now have our own website that was created a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, unitedcivic.org. Before I go further, at the front dais you have Vice President Stu Richland, you have Vice President John Timmerman, everybody knows Donald, and Eva. So I don't want to reminisce. Paperwork that should be dropped off should be the investigation form and rental forms. Now, you have asked in the past for those forms to be available online. They are available on our website. You can print them, you can fill them out, but you cannot submit them via email. They have to be brought into the office by a member of the board. And please bring your Century Village ID. Thank you. Why do you want to use UCO investigations? Well, first, if we do the investigation and there's a question, we will send it out for a legal opinion for you. Should you follow our attorney's advice and for some reason you get a lawsuit because of the decision that you were told that you had the ability to reject, the insurance has a $5,000 deductible. UCO will pick up that $5,000 deductible for you, assuming that you have followed our attorney's advice. How accurate is his advice? In 10 years, they've paid out 3 times for people that have followed his advice. So he's pretty good. The village is divided into 4 parts. You have 4 vice presidents. Jerry Satowski is the other vice president, and Bruce Stutzman is the other vice president. If you are in one of their quadrants or you have a question pertaining to what's going on in your building, in your area, call in, say, I am from Dorchester, I am from Canterbury, I need to talk to my vice president. Should your vice president be busy, not be there, ask for another vice president. If neither one of those are available, you can always ask for Donald or for myself. Never feel that you don't have somebody to talk to. Okay? For board members. For those of you that are renters, if you have a problem with your board, when you come, that's one of the questions that we ask you. Are you a unit owner? Are you an officer? Or are you just a renter? If you tell us that you're a renter, we're going to send you back to talk to the board or to have your landlord talk to the board on whatever issues you have. Each of the vice presidents will be there to help you, but will not give you legal advice. So if you have a legal question, as soon as somebody says, I would like to know if I could do this, and it pertains to legally, can I evict somebody? Can I reject somebody? We're going to tell you that you need to have an attorney. Every association should have an attorney on retainer who will be able to be consultant attorney. Management company. Over the last couple of years, we've had some rhetoric that you can manage your own building. Okay? We personally don't recommend it, and neither does the state, And currently, Florida is trying to put something together that you will not be able to self-manage your building. You must have a license, you must be insured if you're going to be giving advice to a building. That's not here yet, but it is. But your property manager can set up annual meetings. There's a procedure, there's a timeline. If you have a problem with a unit owner, that he's delinquent 30 days, 60 days, your property manager will send that first letter, okay? They're supposed to help you with your annual budgets. Now, because the association is doing the annual budget, take it for what it's worth. If you're an officer, you should be sitting down with the rest of your officers, looking at the current budget, the year before, and what you've actually spent the last 6 months to see if you're in budget or out of budget. In other words, you gotta work a little bit. Annual elections, there's a time schedule. Papers need to go out 60 days before an annual meeting, 30 days thereafter, and a letter needs to go out if you want to be on the board, if you want to be whatever, that your management company does that, and there's a timeline for that. After your annual election, and you should have an annual election every year, if you do not have an annual election, you still must file a new SunBiz report. That your management company usually does that, and you must file with us who your delegates are for your building. I already mentioned violations letters, so your management company is somebody, if you have questions, a lot of questions when they come to me or to Donald or to one of the vice presidents, they're questions that should be by your management company. Like, we need somebody to paint the building, or we need somebody, a plumber, we need an electrician. Your management company would be the person to be able to talk to. The other thing is I know we hate them, but attorneys, you need to have an attorney. You need to have an attorney for legal advice, and also to make sure that your governing documents, your bylaws are all in sync. The major problems that we have, whether you're pet friendly or not pet friendly, if you're a rental building or a non-rental building, over the years, many alterations or amendments have been made to the bylaws, but your articles of incorporation may say something different. You may be a rental building even though in 2020 you decided to amend that you are not a rental building. All three. You need an attorney to review those, to be able to say they all say the same thing. Any questions so far? Good. All right. Eva, you're up. Okay. WPRF.
Good morning. Glad to see you braved the weather to come here. So anyway, my involvement here is, of course, I have the ID office, so I'm the one issuing all the IDs, and I count on the boards to fill out the COAs, do what they need to do, and that's the paperwork that tells us what ID we're going to be issuing to the person standing in front of my staff. So it's important that it be filled out properly, that it have the dates necessary, and that it has the signatures that we need. In season, we expect 2 signatures. In the summer months, when a lot of the board members have left, we will take 1 signature if there's nobody else available. So we will do that. I also want you to know that while sometimes there's a lease involved and the landlord hasn't been on top of getting everything to the board on time, that we will issue temporaries so that the person waiting through no fault of their own will still be able to use the bus if necessary. So we do give out temporaries 2 weeks twice, and then hopefully by then all the paperwork is in place. Just wanted to discuss that the primary function of the ID card is to access the rec facilities. Secondary function is to identify themselves at the gates. And if you take the time to read what's on the back of the card, it says there's no loaning, there's no copying. Security does an excellent job at confiscating this. We're getting IDs all the time. What we're also getting are guest passes that are expired and people think they can continue to use them. So that's a big job for security to do as well. Of great importance is the fact that owners or residents need to let their guests know about what the rules are. For the first time, I actually suspended a resident for their guests' poor behavior. So that's also important to know. I kind of think that's it. Again, any questions that you ever have, please call my staff. We'll help you do anything that you need to do. We'll work with you, as again with the temporaries. And I think really that's it. That wraps it up for me. Anybody have any questions?
There was a question about the asset recovery program.
The asset recovery program doesn't work the way it was originally set up. Things have changed quite a bit, and I think that we're going to sit down again and have that discussion.
Okay.
I don't know if we can make changes to some of the procedures. This is being discussed at the legal level, and they will let us know what their findings are, and the asset recovery program has a very good chance of being shut down. But we'll have that final discussion with the committee.
The asset recovery program was put in place several years ago by Ed Black and WPRF to assist the associations with foreclosures in their buildings. And it was a way of, if money was owed to WPRF and owed to the association, you would sign a contract and jointly somebody would stay on top of it. Because there's variables. When you do a foreclosure, there's an annual update that you must do. And if your board switches from one year to another, and the current president doesn't let anybody know that there's a foreclosure, the new board comes in, that foreclosure will not perpetuate itself unless you do more money.
All right, and WPRF was the engine legally, that they took care of all of that. But there's been a problem. Normally with them, what would happen is that WPRF would bid on the apartment when it would go up for foreclosure auction. And we would usually be the successful bidder, and then both sides got the bulk of their money back. But it's gotten to a point now where WPRF hasn't been a successful bidder in years, and so therefore there's a shortfall of monies, and it's just not benefiting both parties at this point. This is why we're relooking at it again.
Does that answer your question? Okay. It was a good thing for a little while. About 8 years, 9 years, it was very helpful. I did a foreclosure with an attorney. It took 9 years, cost me $10,000. The last one that I did with WPRF took 15 months and cost me nothing. I got all my money back. The most important thing to remember if you're an officer, that you're lucky if you're going to get 12 months back. If you're in the arrears over 12 months, and most of these things take at least a year to foreclose on. You're not going to get more than that. When people come to us and they say, oh, we have a unit that hasn't paid anything in 3 years, red flags goes up. The board should be management company. After so many days, no response, it goes to your lawyer and let your lawyer handle it for you. Now, one of the new things that's, how many board members do I have here? Okay. One of the new things that's coming up lately is when you go into foreclosure, at the last minute, the person goes into bankruptcy, and that stops everything. So the longer that you wait, the worse off you are. So you gotta stay on top of these things. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't have this situation, but I don't really, say somebody isn't paying their WPR, you know, the two, Seacrest and WPR,
Right.
or whoever, and they send a letter out, Seacrest, and then you give it to the attorney. What happens? Can they just stay in the apartment forever and everybody else has to pay their bills for them? We haven't had it, so I'm not really sure what happens.
All right, so collections is part of administering a condominium. It's just part of the job. Two things. First, you as a board, when you make your budget, you should anticipate in the coming year that there are going to be unit owners that don't pay their bills, and you should have a bad debt line to cover that. We always recommend, since we're probably the biggest bill you're going to pay, one quarter of UCO assessments as a bad debt line. Salt it away in your budget. God forbid you need it, you have the money. Otherwise it sits, it doesn't get used. The second thing is, we advise you to always follow the same procedure every time you have someone who's not paying. Because you don't want to get yourself into a situation of selective enforcement or giving forbearance to someone who you feel bad for or you're friendly with or something like that. 30 days, reminder letter from the property manager. 60 days, notice of late assessment from the property manager. 90 days, letter from the lawyer, place the lien. 120, begin foreclosure. That's if once you get into 6 months, 8 months, now you got a problem because you're supposed to be doing it the same way each time. Your accountant, which in your case would be Seacrest, you do have to keep on top of them to make sure they're doing that. All right? Does that help?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
I got one, can I?
Sure, go ahead.
But when it's WPRF or with EVIS, we don't get any notification that they're in
No.
arrears.
No, you won't.
So that's,
That's between the unit owner and WPRF.
which,
And believe me, they're following the same rule I just told you.
Yeah, and even though it's in our documents that we can ask the building to make up the difference for this particular unit owner, we've never chosen that path. So as Donald said, we deal with the individual unit owner.
Answer your question? Okay. Okay, so now, this is where the long part comes. What is the responsibility of the association? And this, over the last 2.5 years, this list has grown. One, you need to have a board of directors. You need to have people there to manage your building. You need to hold annual elections. I know it's very hard, it's very difficult. I'm in a 56-unit building and I have a hard time finding 7 people. So I can imagine when you're in a 26-unit or a 16-unit to find 5 people to sit on the board, but do the best that you can. And it'll make your life a lot easier. Now, last year there was a bill passed that you must hold 4 meetings a year. So when we hear our association saying, we haven't had a meeting, we had somebody just in the office a couple of days ago, we haven't had a meeting in 3 years. Well, that association, as of 2025, is already in violation. And they don't have annual meetings, they don't have budget meetings, they don't have election meetings, and their answer is always, well, nobody ever shows up, okay? But you still have to go through the motions, okay? The most important thing, especially now since it's required under House Bill 913 that you have 4 meetings a year, I recommend using your management company. Have the management company, once they send that letter out, they give you a receipt that you have done your job. 2 are easy. Annual meeting and budget are easy. The other 2, you time them out. You could do them quarterly, you could do whatever you have to do, but just make sure that that mailer goes out. They'll post it on your bulletin board. Even if only 1 person shows up, you, as board president, you've complied with the statute. You've notified the meeting, you have a list that everybody was notified. If nobody showed up, they didn't show up. Okay, yes, ma'am?
okay, so we have to do a mailing on the other 4
You
board
must,
meetings?
No.
no, but you must be able to prove that you set up 4 meetings a year.
Okay.
So unless the mailer is the easiest way to do it.
Your 2 regular board meetings only require 48 hours notice, posted on the bulletin board. You
Right,
could
I
send
do.
it out in other ways too, that's perfectly
I
fine.
do that, I
Right.
take a picture
Yeah.
that shows the time I posted
Your
it.
budget meeting needs a 14-day mailing.
Right.
The annual meeting is a 60-day notice period with two notices. That's why your property manager should be doing this for you.
I wasn't sure if the other meetings also had to have Seacrest mail them out, because.
No, I just do it because in case, and I've been questioned, well, this last year, somebody said, well, we didn't have a third quarter meeting. I said, yes, we did. And he said, well, I never got anything in the mail, and I had a sheet stamped and notarized from Seacrest with a roster of every single, oh, he goes, I moved.
An affidavit of mailing.
I have an affidavit of moving, he never notified Seacrest, or he might have moved in the meantime, but he can't say I didn't do it, I did it.
Once you get your website set up,
Yeah.
you can put it on the website.
Right.
Another good reason to have one.
Yeah,
So if you, so say you, like your third or fourth meeting,
yeah,
and you had it in the summertime,
yeah,
and there's a lot of people that aren't there.
right.
You could just have to put it on the bulletin board for 48 hours, I mean, if,
Yeah.
we're
You
late.
have to show up at the place the meeting is, the
Do you
board
have to
has to show up.
have Zoom or anything?
No,
No, but you can, if you decide that you want to have your second and third quarter meeting, you're welcome to set it up, use your property manager, you can have it at UCO, and then you'll have your Zoom availability.
look, tonight I have my annual meeting for my association. I'm fairly certain that, just like the last 3-4 years, I'm not gonna have a quorum of the membership, because that's what you require at an annual, at a membership meeting, not a quorum of the board. As soon as we determine that there's no quorum, the meeting does not happen. If there's an election, we have the election, but then the meeting's over, and we've made our requirement.
Okay. You need to maintain your building. Oh, you have a question? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, I do my second and third meetings, I do the email. I send everybody an email, they send me response and I print them.
That's fine.
That's fine, you still have to post it.
I post it too.
Yeah.
I post it too.
You just have to understand that now we have a state statute that says that an association must have 4 meetings a year.
Yeah, we do.
And as long as you can prove, if anybody asks, that you had it, if somebody makes a complaint to DBPR, one of your unit owners says, well, I was never notified that we had a meeting in May. And they question you, or they give you a phone call, you say, well, yes, I did. Here's the email, here's a picture of that stuff on my bulletin board, and you're done.
Did you say for the second and third meeting, you only have to give 48 hours notice?
Regular meetings, 48 hours
Okay,
notice.
thank you.
Right.
I'm running a board meeting on Sunday afternoon. I posted the notices this morning at 5 o'clock, and I took a picture of each bulletin board with timestamp that I did it.
Make sure you manage your building, walk around your building, your officers. If you are a unit owner and you see something, notify your board. Say, I was walking around the building and there's a loose piece of concrete, maybe on the catwalk. Make sure that you stay on top of your building. Proper paperwork for sales and rentals. UCO investigation must be submitted by a board member, not a renter, not a realtor, and you're not allowed to give a note, because that's the new thing. The president has a headache today, so she's telling the renter to bring the new lease in so we could type up a certificate of occupancy. Doesn't work.
That
You-
sounds like when my grandparents used to give me a note to go get them cigarettes.
It's,
Go to the store.
we do verify, we do go on Sunbiz, we do check our records that you are a board member, okay? Otherwise, we're not gonna do it. And right now, the way things are, it shouldn't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes, from the time that you sign in to the time that they type it up for you and you walk out the door. In season, it might be 10 minutes. But we are getting new volunteers and the system is getting better and better. All board members need to be certified. Everybody should have taken their 4-hour class from 90 days from them being installed. If you've been on the board since last year, you need to do the 1-hour update. If you haven't done it, there's many ways of doing it. You can do it online. There's a condo expo on the 21st, next Tuesday. I don't know if you can still sign up for it. You might be able to. It's downtown. It's free. And the certification class is from 8 to 12. If you need the 1-hour update, the last 45, 50 minutes of that counts for your 1 hour update. Association delegates. Every month we have a delegate assembly, most of you know. When you fill in your delegates form, first, if you're a Seacrest, do not give us the Seacrest form. That's to update Sunbiz. The one that we want is to know who your officers are and who your alternate delegates are. And every day we sit at the front desk. Well, I have nobody. All these people are delegates. And I tried to explain to them, if you have one delegate for every 25 units. So the president is automatic. The vice president, the secretary, and the treasurer are not automatic. You have to list them as alternate delegates. That's the only way. So when you, this way you'll not have a problem when you come into delegate assembly to sign in and, well, my name is on there. Unless you're listed as an alternate delegate, it's not going to, you're not going to be allowed to represent your association. You should have somebody on the board, or most board members should have a list of who all the unit owners are and contact in case there is an emergency. It's amazing how many people have no idea how to get in touch with people. If you don't have a form, put a form together, have something available, who all your unit owners are, who a contact person is. If you have a water leak or you have some damage, you need to get a hold of the person. Perfect example for those of you that followed the fire that we had. Donald spent how much time making phone calls to try to find out where the president was, and all the unit owners were all.
That was a separate, that was
Yeah.
a kind of a thing, it was a Jewish holiday, and so I was finally able to find one board member on Long Island. But, yeah, that can be tough.
We need to know that. Corporate seal. Your corporate seal allows you to conduct business. If you are an officer, make sure where that corporate seal is all the time. And I know we have a lot of people that don't live here year-round, they're snowbirds, and when they go to Canada, Chicago, California, New York, they take the corporate seal and they say, that's it, the building can't do anything. That corporate seal first must be within 40 miles of Century Village. If it's not, you're in violation of statute. If you are in a situation that you don't know where your seal is and one of your officers has taken it, you can order a new seal. They're $20, $25 and you can get them in a couple of days. But that seal, you must know, if you are the president, you should know where that seal is at all times. You need it for COAs, you need it if you want us to turn somebody's barcode off for whatever reason. The person is being, whether he's a renter or a unit owner, we need that corporate seal with something from the association. Please turn off Mr. Jones's barcode. We need that corporate seal. So when you're turning in your delegates form, you need that on the bottom of the form too, so that we know that it's legitimate. Because we've had that too, where somebody comes in and says, well, he was the old president. Well, the new president came in and there was a conflict because one had a seal and one didn't have a seal. Now, we will not take anything, especially with delegates form, that does not have a seal on it. We'll send it back. New owners, new renters, we have many means of communications, the UCO Reporter being one. We have 3 TV channels, 590, 591, and 592, and we have a community website. We work very closely with WPRF. A year ago, when the elevator was down, we were notified by WPRF, and within 15 minutes, Joanne had it up on the TV. If you had to go to the second floor, the elevator was down. Any projects, anything that we've got going on, the shredding event, the pill drop, we put all this information is available on our website, it's available on our TV channels, and it's available in our UCO Reporter. Also, on that note, if you have a new owner or a new renter, there's a newcomers package. Those packages are available at did you get the new? Did they get the new packages?
Yes.
Okay. There's two sections. If you've never seen it, stop by the office, we'll give you one. One side is WPRF and one side is UCO. If you have a new owner, new renter, make sure, they usually get them when they get their ID. But if by some chance they're not, when they get to the barcode desk, John asked them, did you get an updated package? And if they say no, John gives it to them. There's a lot of information on
I
there.
have a question.
Sure.
It might be stupid, but.
No,
I was
no
told
stupid
something.
questions.
That's what my father always told me. Where do you, because I try to get the channels on Breezeline, where do I find them?
590, 591, and 592.
Is it because I pay extra for different channels? I can never get them.
You should be able to get them.
Or is it certain times of the day?
No, they're on all the time.
Well, I'll try again.
Well,
It-
the last,
Get it?
Phil said the last 2-3 days, if you're talking about that, only one channel was up. So
Is
occasionally.
it something all the time, or is it,
Well, I don't try it all the time, but I haven't tried it the last few days, probably last month.
okay.
And every
If-
time I tried it, I thought, now I used to be able to get it a few years back when we
Right.
had it, but I haven't, and I thought, well, maybe it's because I pay for extra channels.
No, but if you have a problem, stop by the office. I'll take all your information and we'll send somebody out to try to help you out.
Something like this happened in my house. All of a sudden, we couldn't get 590, 591, but for some reason, we were getting public access channels for Miami.
Oh,
And when they came and reprogrammed the box,
Yeah,
it was a programming thing.
yeah. If you had a power outage, you might try to unplug your box and plug it back in and see if that helps it out. Okay, but if you continue to have that issue, just let us know and we'll try to help you out with that.
thank you.
All work done in the buildings should be done by licensed and insured people. Fire is a perfect example. Uninsured, unlicensed handyman burnt 2 apartments down. Okay, we tell you that as board members, if you're a president, anybody that wants to do work, you want to see in papers that the person is licensed and insured. And if they're doing major work, the building should be listed as additional insured. If they're replacing windows, doors, whatever, any major renovation, you should be aware of it. There's a box all the way on the bottom of the insurance papers, should say the building and the unit owner as additional insured. And the other box, there's a little box that has to do with workman's comp. I'll let Donald explain that.
Yeah. Anybody working in your building should be insured at the very least. If they require licensure, they should have licenses. It doesn't matter if they're working for the association or the individual unit owners. It's an association responsibility to make sure nobody works in that building without the proper paperwork. And the most important thing is your insurance and workers' workers' compensation insurance. It's very common for small-time tradesmen they're self-employed, they have no other employees, so they say. So on the certificate of approval, it'll say, are you exempt from workers' comp insurance? And they'll check it, they'll leave it blank, or they'll check it why, yes. That person should be working in your building, because 2 reasons. Number one, that person is basically giving a lower price to the unit owner because he's depending on the association's workers' comp to cover him while he's there. He falls off a ladder, his wife's going to go after the association, not even him. The other thing is, it's very seldom that when they say, "Oh, I'm self-employed, it's only me," they usually have helpers with them, casual workers that are off the books. And who's going to track that down? The easiest way to make sure you're covered is you have to demand to see a certificate of approval. Anybody working in the unit, you pick it up, you look at the bottom left, and you see if that box is checked. Anything but N. N is the only right answer. If you have any questions, bring it or send it. Take a picture. Send it to us. We'll look at it for you. Go ahead.
And I have notices about our our annual meetings, or not the annual, but the board meetings. So he had, I took the picture off the bulletin board,
Sure.
sent it to him. There's somebody doing his work for him who says everything that they're doing doesn't need a permit.
Nearly everything needs a permit.
Yeah, but, so that's what I want, is there, because I went to that one meeting after the delegate meeting where the county was up
Yeah.
there. But aren't there different rules for some of the permits, because we are a commercial building with,
You're not a commercial
Units.
building, you're a multifamily residential building.
okay, aren't there different rules for those too, for permits, that they require more permits than?
Well,
a
yes,
homeowner?
there are differences. For instance, if you have your own home, a standalone home,
Mhm.
you can pull permits yourself as the owner.
Right.
Own a permit. But if you're a condominium owner, you can't pull your own permits. Only a licensed contractor can pull permits. Now, it's very common for unit owners to move into your association and think they can do whatever they want. It's so common that I can't even tell you. But very simple. If they don't want to play ball with you, they don't want to cooperate, give us a call, send me an email, and ask me to turn off their barcode and turn off their ability to remotely call in guests, which will include the tradesmen. So as long as I have an email from you, I'll turn it off instantly, and when his guy shows up, he won't be able to get
Well,
in.
I think that person probably has a barcode because they actually own places in here, the person doing the work.
Well, that's a problem too. Like, for instance, that fire that we had last month, the unlicensed handyman that put in the hot water heater that caused the fire owns a unit in Century Village, so it's near impossible to keep him out. I had this exact same situation at Salisbury Eye a couple days ago. It's a problem, but you're in charge. If you need help, call us. One of us will come right over and back you up.
Were any interior walls removed from the inside?
No, not that, I know there's a double sink where before there was just one sink.
All right, so what's probably going on there is they're putting in a kosher kitchen.
Yeah,
Does that track?
I'm thinking that's what it is.
Okay. This is not a, that 100% that requires a permit. That's a redesign of the kitchen. Doesn't mean you're not gonna let it happen. The person needs a kosher kitchen, they need a kosher kitchen, but they gotta pull permits.
Yeah.
Send me an email, I'll shoot over to your place today, and I'll put in a complaint for you. All right?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Common element, when you get a new owner, a new renter, new occupant, as a board member, explain what a common element of the building is. The catwalks, if you have a patio in the back, those are common elements. The patio, porch, whatever you want to call it, is a limited common element. It is owned by the association, but that unit owner has specific use of that, sole use of that. And explain that to them. They can't do what they want. They can't just arbitrarily decide to do major work out there, level the floor, put walls, whatever, without the board approval, because they don't own it. The state requires that if you have 25 units or more, you have a website. I have been saying this for the last year and a half. Every association should have a website. And we've had several units that have 16 units, and it's the best thing that you could do. Because every unit owner, every realtor that comes and says, I need a copy of your bylaws, I need a copy of your mitigation report, I need. If it's on your website, they have access to these, give them the website, and they can go down there and they can download all that information.
Tell them to help themselves.
Help yourself. Now, it is proprietary, so like financial things will only be available to people that are signed up, that are unit owners. Okay, but your budget can be on it. Everything that a realtor can request or a unit owner can request if they're putting a place up for sale is all available over there. You don't have to make a copy. It is the best thing that you could possibly do. And just remember, we went from 156 units to 25. I think the state sooner or later is going to say that every association should have a website. And especially since DBPR now requires that they be listed on your website. Sooner or later, they're gonna want to see what's going on in your building. This came up recently, directors and officers claims. If you have a claim, a letter, an intent that somebody is going to be trying to sue you as a board member, please bring it into the office, and we're not gonna do anything with it, but we'll record it that there's a possibility that Mr. Jones is gonna be suing you. We'll have a record of it. Why is this important? Because, was it a year and a half ago, we had an association that decided that they were gonna do this on their own. They went to court, they used their money, and they lost in court. And while they were still in the courtroom, they called Donald, and they said, we need to make a claim.
You needed a judge going, and it
Okay.
was, now let's call Donald.
So, and when we contacted the insurance company, they said, well, we had no record, this happened a long time ago, so it's only to cover yourself. There is a timeline. We're just gonna put it on paper that you had this issue. If nothing happens, nothing happens. It doesn't go against your building unless there's an actual claim. Census, you gotta do a census every 2 years. For those that have been around years ago, you had to do a census, you had to send it to the state, you had to give them money. DeSantis did away with that, but you still must do the census. Why is it important? Because if you have a lawsuit, we just had a year ago, where an association decided to reject someone because of age. And when they they put in a claim, they did everything, and as soon as the lawyer said, well, where's your census? What census? That's it. You just lost the claim. That's it, you're done. You lost before you ever got to first base. You're struck out. So it's important that you have that. Mail it, have your management company mail it out, keep it on for your records. You are going to get some kickbacks. Some people are not going to want to fill it out. Most of you, if you take the time, everybody that's in your building was investigated. You should have that information available. And it requires proof of age. Okay, and it's basically used to determine how old your your residents are. Okay, so very plain, very simple. You got to do it every 2 years, and those records remain for the building. They never have to be given out unless there's a lawsuit. House Bill 913, that's the thing that changed the world of condo associations and HOA. For those of you, has anybody read them? All House Bill 913? Okay, it's 22 pages long. Okay, and it's basically, it's 80% for condo associations and some things for homeowners associations. And I think right now the state is trying to get rid of homeowners associations because of bad things that happen. They want more control. But if you haven't read it, go online, read it, print it out. There's a lot of information on it. It covers just about every single duty that you have as officers of the building. Who, what, when, where, how you can invest your money, how your reserves are set up, how to basically run your association. Okay? Very important. Please read it. Before I open questions, I'm going to ask John. John's been a new vice president. He's been taking care of the barcode desk, but I know he's going to tell you all about what you need to do to tell your residents and your new owners about how to get a barcode.
Well, in my association, what we do is,
Oh, fine.
no, I got a big mouth.
Nah, take the microphone.
Good morning, thanks for coming out today in this rain. We get people that come into the office and they are totally clueless on what has to be done. And I'm gonna call them residents. They could be owners, they could be new tenants. And in my association, it's, we call it the communication board. It's the bulletin boards that should be up by your mailboxes and possibly one in the laundry room. The one in the laundry room is pertains to the laundry room itself. It's, the rules for your machines, the times, we have a schedule up there. Now, our 2 bulletin boards on the outside of the laundry room, the one over the mailbox pertains to the owners. It has our budget up there, emergency key holders. Anybody gets locked out, they need to know who to go to, who to call. You don't want somebody sitting on the stairs all night waiting to catch somebody to get a key to get in. On that bulletin board, we have no smoking. We have the Seacrest and the Exterminating Company schedule up there. On the other bulletin board, we have just basic rules. They're common sense rules, and they're there for the residents to read. And we change them up. Like every month and a half, we'll put something else up there. The nice weather's here, let's make sure we get all the windows clean, so forth and so on. But on that bulletin board, we have the trash pickup, recycling pickup, and bulk pickup. And we just post things just to keep everybody informed. What we do with new owners and new tenants, we do a meet and greet. So before I give that certificate of occupancy out, we have a list. We sit, it takes about 6 minutes of your time. Let them know where to get the barcode. Let them know where the clubhouse is. Let them know what's involved with the club. Let them know about the newspaper that comes out. Let them know about the TV channels. Let them know, just inform them, and they sign off on it, and you can give them a copy. So at least you told them about it. But people are coming into the office, and they have no idea where to go. They think we do ID cards, they think we do everything there,
That's the new thing, everybody's coming to get their new ID card by us.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
So it's just a matter of,
At least
spending a couple seconds of your time with the new owners. Don't give that certificate to the realtor. I want to meet the owner. I want to sit and have a quick chat with them, that's all. And then you're setting the path for them. And they're going to say, all right, I know where to go now. But some of these residents that are coming in to see us, we had one yesterday that came in, and since she's moved in 3 weeks ago, it's been nothing but a disaster. She don't know what to do, when to do, or how to do it. But I made her experience yesterday as best as possible. She walked out with a big smile on her face, she thanked us, and she said, this is the best experience so far in 3 weeks. That's our goal at the office, especially at the barcode desk, Just get these people in and out, and they come in, under the weather or grouchy, we try to make them smile and leave with a better experience. So it's so important to just communicate with the new owners and the new tenants, and just set the path for them, get them on the right track. Because, if they get aggravated right away, then you may have problems down the road with them. And that's all really I have to say.
On what John was saying, with the meet and greet, the first thing on that meet and greet is, congratulations, Mr. Jones, you've been approved to live in our building. And then ask all the questions. Let them know up front that the person has been approved.
Right.
Because if you don't, somebody that's sitting on the board may not like the person, they may not like the answers, the person stutters, the person picks their ears, whatever it is. You gotta let them know up front that this interview is not whether you're gonna live in the building
It's
or
not a
not.
contingency.
It's not a contingency. Welcome to our building.
All of the lawyers, whoever your lawyer is telling you, do not have a meeting with the prospective owner until a decision has been made to accept them. Then go ahead, meet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's our rules.
Well, in
okay.
our building, I think we've signed the papers, and I don't even know if we've met the people. Sometimes they aren't even here yet, and we've got people moved in, I don't even know what they look like.
You can do it over the phone. I've called people on the phone
And Zoom.
and Zoom. But, and speaking on that, when you are accepting a package for a prospective buyer or renter, okay, don't do it on your own. Review it with the rest of your board. Let other people put eyes on it. If you have questions, ask questions up front. Okay? It's very, very important that you review those papers. And we see it all the time. The realtor pulls into the parking lot, opens up a window, and gives a president or vice president or board member a package. And you come in, don't even look at it, just drop it off for investigation. And then when they come and pick it up, oh, the person has no income. Oh, the person doesn't have this, the person doesn't have that. But you gotta ask the questions ahead of time. Once you accept that package and drop it off, you got 30 days. And in some cases, we have realtors that don't respond. We've had instances where the board has said, well, we need additional information, we need proof to close, we need a bank statement, and the realtor doesn't respond for 2 weeks. In the meantime, they're saying, well, we gave it to you 2 weeks ago. So make sure that all the documentation that you want to see is there ahead of time.
You should document when
Yes.
you took the package. When the realtor drops off to you the package, here, take it, make a note of it by email to your board. By the way, today I just received the package. That time stamps the date when you received it. And that starts a 30-day clock, right?
But the 30-day clock stops if you send them an email that you need additional information, they don't get it back to you for a couple of weeks.
Yes, you may open up that package and find that it is incomplete. They didn't fill everything out. They didn't give you everything that's on the instruction sheet. That moves the clock up a little bit, right? But always every time you hit one of those buttons, document it, send it as an email.
Yeah. I make it a point to make the realtor sit there while I go through the package. And they get antsy. Well, I'm in a rush, I have to go someplace. Well, then here, take the package, when you have time, bring it back to me.
And I do it totally different because I don't like talking to any real estate agents. I go, thank you very much, goodbye, and close the door.
We each have our own way.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, I find either the check is missing or there's paperwork missing. And you would be surprised, if you ever want to have a fun day, come and spend a few days in the UCO office. When you have a realtor that comes in and says, well, do I need this, did you read the front cover, the front page of the application? And they look at you, what front page? They never bother reading it. You know, well, it says that I have to return it to UCO. It says, no, must be returned to the association. So, be aware, and don't let them bully you around, please. They do bully you around.
Excuse me.
Yes? No problem. Okay. You have any other questions for us? We got plenty of time today, good. Yes? Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead, Ivy.
Go ahead, give us a question. Come on, we're here for you. We might like to answer your question. Uh-oh.
She's thinking about it.
Okay, I got one for you, but that's for later.
Go ahead, do it now.
That's why she's here.
Yeah, I know, but it's not, you know.
Oh, if it's personal, that's another
Well,
thing.
it's not personal, it's to do with the condo, we're just not sure about something.
This is the place to
Well,
do it.
this is out behind our building, we don't know how far the tree has to be to the water, that it's your tree. We don't know if it's your tree or our tree, we're not sure.
I looked at that tree. It's Eva's tree,
Is it?
but Eva's not cutting it down. Eva doesn't.
We don't want to cut down, we just want to trim, but why are we trimming a tree to this?
Okay, well-
You know?
What building are you in?
Chatham Beach.
You know, so if it falls within the 15 feet from the shoreline, that's some,
It's on WPRF property.
Is it on WPRF property?
Well, she called me first.
okay.
But I explained to her that WPRF as a rule doesn't do tree trimming on that property.
But if it's her tree, not even not our tree, you know?
And I'm sorry, where is this?
It's right behind our
Chatham
building.
D.
On the waterfront, and he said it's your tree, you know.
Chatham D is next door to me, and in between where Marilyn Pomerantz used to live and where I live, and there's a bend that goes around. And if you're on the bend, you can see the clubhouse. That's where the trees actually.
It's right behind where I live,
Yes.
right behind my apartment.
My question is, who planted it? Did we?
Exactly.
I don't know.
We would not be planting trees at buildings. I landscape the rec facilities. and
Every
the
time this
pools.
comes up,
I know,
every time this
So-
question comes up, and me and Eva are always involved in it, it's always who planted the tree. And the question is, your ancestors planted the tree. They didn't know whether. So if WPRF didn't plant the tree, it's kind of
Why
on you
would you
guys.
plant a tree if it wasn't on your property, though? I don't know, you know? That's what
Who
we're-
knows? They're dead now. We can't, we get a Ouija board and ask them.
No, we're going to pay to trim something that's not on our property.
Yes,
pretty much.
Bad enough if it's our tree, it's our property, but no.
yeah,
Eva doesn't want anything planted on that 15-foot
correct.
Well, going on that back, there's a whole bunch, but none of them are that close to building, all the Rs is, so.
Right, you look in the back of my place, there's one right literally and who knows who planted it. It might be wild, some of those palms actually grew up on their own.
I don't know.
Eva got rid of a bunch of them here on Clubhouse Island, they were just wild palmettos.
Well, that answers the question.
Well, the birds eat the seeds and then they fly and then they poop and then the seeds hit the ground and they grow.
Yeah.
So and those wild palms, everything was planted around the rec facilities with a purpose. So those wild palms that came up, we just never dealt with. And then, yes, I did, I cleaned it up because we looked so wild and we shouldn't. So I cannot even say who planted the tree, so it would be your responsibility to trim it, yes. Mhm.
Anything else? We're open? You have a question for us? You sure?
He's making a joke.
Oh, you're making a joke? Oh, okay.
How about the empty bus that goes around the circle every hour?
Well, we'll expect people to.
Well-
At 6 minutes past the hour,
Yeah, exactly.
that's the worst.
Okay. Should you have a question with that, come into the office and we get a quarterly bus route schedule that tells you give me the number on the bus, what route it is, and John can tell you exactly how many people rode that bus
Okay.
for the whole month.
And we're not worried about that.
No, but this is one of the questions, they see empty buses.
Oh,
But for example, I live in Greenbrier. There's a half a dozen people that get on the bus and the first stop is the clubhouse.
Yeah.
So if they're going to the clubhouse, they get off. When that bus leaves the clubhouse, there's nobody on it because the people already got to exactly where they had to go.
Sorry. Only thing I do is, if they're going too fast, I get in the street, flag them down. They don't like it, but I do it. They don't
Right.
think they're going 30 miles an hour, fine.
Go back home and go into the subway on Queens Boulevard at 11 at night and see if the E train doesn't pass by mostly empty.
Yeah.
You know, it's a system, it has to run.
I have
Yes.
a question about the bus, it's not from myself, but people have asked me.
Sure.
And does all the buses go to outside the village? I know there's 1, 2, 3. I've had people ask me, and I really don't know exactly. I went and got the bus schedules. I can't really understand them. Do they
All the buses leave the village, yes.
Oh, they do.
But there's an east route and a west route that extends away. There are some buses just through the village and they go to the Publix and they go to the post office and then they come back.
And what about the ones like out to the outlet mall? Would that be the east?
That's the
route?
east, that's the east bus.
Right.
Okay.
One is called the east route and one is called the west route.
And where does the west route go?
They go to Jog Road, they go to when they leave the village, Walmart, the Publix over here, in that's the area that they travel.
So
And on
all those
weekends, they
buses,
have a
they
combo
usually
bus.
going around, do they go around the village and then they go out every time, or they have to get on a second bus?
Well, no, they all go to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Right.
And then once you're at the clubhouse, it's like transferring at Jamaica. You gotta get on the
You
train.
gotta get on
You gotta get on the
Right.
bus that's going where you wanna go.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And it goes a
Yeah,
lot of
that's okay.
places.
Thank you, okay.
I mean, we try to make, we try to make it as convenient as it is as possible. Now, something was brought to our attention that not every line, 1, 2, or 3, were not going to Hastings. And people had to go to the clubhouse and wait and be on a bus for an hour and a half. So we spoke with Academy, and in a couple of months, they made changes. Now both 1, 2, and 3 all go to the clubhouse, to Hastings Gym. So you no longer have to get off, go to the clubhouse, get off, take another bus. So we do make changes. We don't like to make changes, but sometimes if it makes sense, we'll do it. Okay. Anything else for us?
We're glad you have the meetings.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Joanne, thank you so much. Uh,